But crypto is definitely interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of decentralization of everything.
Therefore, we have a podcast and we mine crypto.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mine crypto, and then I also send like $50 every 2 weeks to buy Bitcoin just to have that as part of my portfolio. Like I want to be diversified away from the dollar in case the inflation rates just get really horrible. And because like, you know, if I have this big, you know, savings of cash, and the dollar, like inflation rates skyrocket to 200%, I'm losing money just having that cash sitting in my account.
Yep.
So I'm trying to like diversify away from the dollar. I'm getting stocks. I'm getting crypto. I'm trying to, you know, I kind of think I might want to get a little bit of gold and silver, stuff like that. And other than that, you can also acquire other assets like buying cameras or equipment and stuff like that, because those are things that maintain a certain amount of value. GPUs maintain a certain level of value. They're like twice as expensive. Like my GPUs right now I could resell them for a profit like a couple years after buying them.
Yeah.
So it's insane. And that's not just from crypto. A lot of that's from crypto, but a lot of that's from inflation. A lot of that's from just gamers and things like that. Like there's such huge demand for silicon.
Yeah, but you know what I'm realizing though? For the first time in technology history, our technology has like appreciated.
It's like an appreciating asset, yeah.
Typically, like you buy a computer chip, say you get a really nice one, you spend $1,000 on a specific computer chip.
2 years later,
a year later, it's half the price.
Yeah.
And
so that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about that and like, holy shit, we've never seen that in the history of technology.
Yeah. I've been looking at prices on these GPUs that I've had, because like I want to get another RX 5700 for mining crypto and gaming and stuff like that. And they're like $1,000. I spent $350 on that.
I think the XT versions are $1,000. I think.
Oh, well, maybe
you can get a 5700 for like $800 now.
Yeah, even 800. That's over twice what I paid.
Yeah,
and it hurts so much. It hurts my brain to think like I should now spend 2 times the amount on a graphics card that's like a year and a half old.
Yeah, but at the same time though, I kind of feel like this would be buying the dip, because $800 is actually down from what it was a few months ago, because the crypto values are down from what it was a few months ago. Like these prices are directly related. So the general strategy, this is again, you know how like Warren Buffett says, be greedy when people are fearful and fearful when people are greedy.
Yeah.
I think people are fearful right now. And so they're dumping crypto and they're dumping, you know, graphics cards and stuff. They're getting out of the crypto investment world because it's low. And I think that
I hope so, because I'm buying it up right now.
Yeah, and I think that if we put our money where our mouth is and bought the ability to mine crypto right now, and the ability, and bought just crypto as we're going or whatever with our USD, then I think in a few months it will pay off. Like legitimately, I think that's the strategy right now.
Even if it doesn't though, like I won't be hurting, because I'm not really investing that much. Like $50, or it's like $100 a month that I'm investing, split up into 2 purchases. It's like, it's not that much.
Yeah.
And either way, I'm going to be losing money on the dollar with inflation.
Yeah.
So it's like, which is going to lose me more money? I don't know. So I'm just going to diversify.
I will be honest, I am not betting on the US dollar right now.
Me neither. But then at the same time, I'm not super paranoid either. I'm not as skeptical as a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was looking at, I've been trying to find like reasonably priced GPUs, because I got to get one for Bubba's gaming computer. But also like I've been interested in like what is going to give me the most bang for the buck, like for crypto mining, and how can I make this make sense? And Best Buy's website still has all of their GPUs listed at MSRP price, whereas Newegg and Amazon, they have a little bit of stock in, but they're also marking stuff up. So you got cards that their MSRP might be $600, they're selling for $1,100, $1,200. But Best Buy still has everything priced at MSRP. Not surprisingly, everything is sold out constantly, and it sells out really fast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I've been getting more interested in getting back into programming and trying to figure out how to bot these things.
Yeah.
Because there's that code on GitHub that I used before that I could run again. It had so many issues for me before, and because I don't know enough programming to fix the issues myself, I'm trying to learn programming now so that I can modify code or build it myself.
Yep.
And get it to work. Because if I could get, some graphics cards from Best Buy, like an RTX 3070 for say like $500 will pay itself off in 3 months.
Yeah.
So that's a good investment. Like
Yeah.
your ROI of like paying itself off in 3 months and then making money, like I think it'll be over $100 a month after that. Every month after that. Well, wait, no, it has to be more than that. It was like a 150, I think, because for it to pay itself back in 3 months, I think it was like 150. So I was like, yeah, I need to do that.
Didn't we decide some of the AMD cards were the most efficient for mining crypto though, in terms of power consumption and hash rate?
I don't know if that would be the case when compared to the RTX 3070. Like my RX 5700
Get on your mic.
Is a really good balance of cost to hash rate, but I think that a 3070 will increase the power consumption a little bit, but still give you a higher hash rate. And considering I don't think they're really stocking RX 5700s now, so you have to kind of get them secondhand. And you can't get them for MSRP as far as I can tell. I should check Best Buy. They might still have it at MSRP. But it's actually going to be more expensive to get an RX 5700 than a RTX 3070 at MSRP. So if I could actually get it at what it should cost,
right? But that's
then it would be a better investment.
Yeah, that's the catch. And that's why I'm not holding my breath on MSRP.
Because
honestly.
Newegg and Amazon have like some 3070s priced around $1,200. So it would be a little bit cheaper, $800 to get an RX 5700 on the secondhand market. It would be pretty comparable price to performance ratio.
Do you remember when we wouldn't pay $600 to $700 for an RX 3070? Like those cards MSRP'd at like
RTX 3070?
Yeah, a 3070.
Oh yeah.
They are MSRP'd at like $400, and we wouldn't pay $6,700. And now it's like, damn, if we could get one for $6,700, then that's worth it.
Well, yeah, it's just insane right now. I had no idea how the market was gonna go, or I would have been buying up graphics cards. Because seriously, you could have
flipped those.
Yeah, but then again, at the same time, like stuff like lumber has appreciated 200%, or it's the price has gone up by 200% over the past couple of years since COVID. So you're seeing a pretty consistent trend across everything. It's not just GPUs. So that's why I'm also saying it's not just the crypto market that's driving this.
Yeah.
And there's obviously a huge shortage of silicon chips right now.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they can't make them fast enough. And there's basically only 3 companies that make silicone, and only 2 of them provide silicone for other companies. So the first one being Intel. Intel makes their chips and sells their chips. They don't...
And they're all in Taiwan, basically.
Like someone like Apple can't go to Intel and say, all right, make me my M1 chip. This is our design. We need you to, fabricate this chip. Mm-hmm. Intel won't do that. They don't do it. I don't know if they won't. They don't for whatever reason. I don't know why. There's 2 other companies to go with. One is TSMC in Taiwan, who makes chips for like Samsung, AMD, Apple. I think they make chips for Apple. They make chips for a lot of people. So basically people bring their designs and they say, hey, we need you to fabricate this chip. And they have a really good process for that. They're actually better than Intel. They can do the 7nm process, which is better than Intel. Actually, I think they do 5 now. But they've been ahead of Intel in getting smaller and smaller die processes. Um, and then the other one is the one AMD used to use and had a relationship with was I can't remember the name of the place, but they also manufacture chips for a lot of different companies.
Yeah.
But there's basically only 3 that do it right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is. I guess maybe because they've been doing them so long that the barrier to entry is just too high for other companies to be profitable at it.
Yeah.
But there's a very like low number of companies that are actually producing the silicone in all of our devices.
Yeah. 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 But that being said, definitely the USD is going to be less valuable, and we need to figure out how to put our money in assets.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I would be down for, $1,000 5,700 because it would pay itself back.
But it's just a lot longer.
Yeah.
But
like if we could get one for $500, yeah, but
it's not that I don't think a $5,700 a 5,700 is worth it for 1,000. It just hurts my brain
right.
when I know I'm like the
Right.
MSRP, like Best Buy's list price is, $500 for the 3070 Founders Edition. And if I could get that card at that price, it'll pay itself back in 3 months and then start making $150 a month.
Right. But, the way that I see it is like,
you have to get what you can.
Yeah, that a little
what's
bit
attainable.
That a little bit I feel like is FOMO, which is always bad in investing. But then the other side of that is like, again, I really think this is the dip. And so I think if we have $1,000 card now that's mining, and let's say we hit another spike soon, then maybe it is still 3 months that it pays itself back because we're mining in those 3 months.
It might be the dip, but also China is hugely influential in the crypto market in that when
China's already out.
No, that's what I'm saying. Without China coming back in, China's part of what's driving the price of crypto because there's that whole country that's a demand for crypto.
Yeah.
And because of the oppression there and how their government controls everything, like having crypto gives you the freedom to do some things that you couldn't otherwise do.
Yeah.
So that's a huge drive for demand for that Bitcoin. So taking away that demand also means like, yeah, sure, there's less people mining it, so you can get more crypto from your efforts, but also at the same time, there's also less demand for it.
Yeah, but that's one country in a world full of countries.
Don't sleep on China, though.
No,
They're
you're right.
Huge percentage of the market and the population of the world.
You're right, but also I do think that like China will figure their shit out. There will probably be a black market in China that will get back into crypto.
Maybe,
but
there's also huge consequences. Like it's huge risk for people over there to go against the government.
Right, but I just think like in the Houston, the Western Hemisphere of like the U.S., Canada, Mexico, even there's people in Mexico mining crypto. Europe, some of the Middle Eastern countries that are into it and stuff like that. Like there's still a lot of people out there and a lot of demand for crypto. And so my thing is I still really think this is the dip.
Yeah.
And so my thing
I don't
is like,
disagree, but I'm also like I could see it going either way.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't like the concept of it. I don't think can be like negative going forward. Like it might slow up how much it's profitable.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Because it has been like, appreciating like 200% every year. And people are like, oh, this is an asset class that is, outperforming any other asset class. Everyone get in right now. You have to get in. Like this outperforms every other asset. And I'm like, slow down. Like anytime you have an asset that appreciates that quickly, oftentimes it's very volatile.
Yeah.
And
it's very volatile.
It's equal risk reward. Like you have to look at it as a highly risky investment.
Yes.
Because
but also on the same token though, is like at some point, like, the draw for so many people is that you can like under certain circumstances become a millionaire overnight, which is not really our goal. Our goal is not to become a millionaire overnight. But the volatility in it is due to that.
That's part
like,
of
possibility. But
yeah.
my thing is, while it's volatile, we get in it and just stick in it because at some point it's going to stabilize. And once it stabilizes, it's going to stabilize as a very valuable asset because, again, I think I'm bearish on the USD, and I'm bullish on Bitcoin because like maybe one day the price stops fluctuating by 200% every year, and it becomes more of like a 3% type currency.
Also, get this little inception right here. What if Bitcoin is not appreciating by 200% every year?
Everything else is
the
declining.
dollar is depreciating by 200% every year?
Which
is
is
people always measure the growth of things in dollars, but you have to factor in inflation, which I know they have their numbers for as far as like what they say is the inflation rate, but like how much can you trust that?
Yeah.
Where do those numbers come from?
No, and I agree with you, which is you're right. And I've thought about that too. It's like, is it that Bitcoin is worth more or is it the USD is worth less? And that's what I really think it's going to come down to. Because again, like, is it that lumber's worth more or is it that the USD is worth less? Is it that graphics cards are worth more?
A 200% increase in lumber price.
But what did you see over the last, year or so? We saw the government printing trillions of dollars because they could. And when you have an influx of something that was at a certain scarcity before, then it becomes less valuable. And that is what we're seeing with the USD, which is why, again, I'm like, okay, that's why you see big investment firms like BlackRock buying up all the houses because it does them no good to have a bunch of cash. They want assets.
Keeps depreciating.
Bezos, Gates, Musk, all these people buying up all this property, it's because their trillions of dollars in cash or whatever is going to do them no good. So they're buying assets because that property is going to be that property no matter what. The USD isn't always going to be, a dollar isn't always going to be a dollar's worth of buying power. And so my thing is like, okay, I can't afford to buy thousands of acres, but I can afford to buy a graphics card and mine crypto.
Yeah.
So, because again, I think at some point,
and even if crypto itself isn't profitable while you're doing it, like a 200% appreciation of that asset to be able to resell after you mined worthless crypto for a year, you're still making your money back if you sell that graphics card.
Right.
Which is just insane because that used to not be the case.
Yeah.
So that's almost part of what makes it make more sense now than ever because in the past, a GPU would be a depreciating asset. Now it's like, well, maybe it's not. Like maybe it's an appreciating asset.
Yeah. And I think Musk knows this too because that's why he started accepting crypto as a tender for buying his cars,
Well, they did that a while ago, but they stopped accepting Bitcoin.
Right, because of the energy impact and stuff like that.
Yeah, the carbon footprint.
You can still buy cars with Doge, or is it Ethereum? I can't remember. It's one of them. You can still buy Tesla because he did two. I think it was Doge, honestly, because he was, and to this day, which is why I'm still hanging on to the Doge that I bought. I think he's working with the creators of Doge to like stabilize the transactions and stuff like that to where it becomes a viable option. Like he was kind of, he made a meme coin viable by making it more memey, but at the same time, I think he saw some value there. Yeah, I think he saw some value there and he was like, hey, like if I can work with you guys, we could make this legit. And so kind of the heat around Dogecoin has cooled. But I think it's going to come back because maybe. I think because last there was heat around Dogecoin was Elon saying, hey, I'm working with the creators of Doge to stabilize this. And so I'm like, okay, I'm hanging on because, when everybody's forgetting about that and the Dogecoin price is dipping and so they're all selling out, I'm hanging on because at some point it's going to go the other direction when Elon comes back out and says, hey, figured it out. We're rolling out Doge, blockchain 2.0 or whatever, and and then Doge fucking goes to the moon, then it's like, okay, cool. So I'm bullish on cryptos and I'm bearish on USD, which is why I'm fine with like, hey, yeah, it's like a punch in the gut to go spend $1,000 on a $300 graphics card. But
well, how does Kirby feel about that?